Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Dwight. So check this out. I just wanted to get up on here to share a video with you all quickly. I'm not going to make this video super long. It's just going to be talking about a lesson on gratitude or being grateful, as you would call it, if you would. So around this time and the importance of practicing gratitude. So around this same time, which is December, 21st, I believe. Around this same time, back in 2012, so it was over 10 years ago, 12 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, about 12 years ago. Around this time, 12 years ago, I was living in a one-bedroom apartment, small one-bedroom, modest apartment. I think that apartment was about maybe 560, no more than 590 square feet. So, which was good. I mean, at that time, rent was cheap. I think rent was like maybe 565 at the time. And I believe was I at what $13 or was I 13.50? I believe I made at the time. But anyways, long story short, I ended up running into financial issues just because I was mismanaging my money and trying to live well above my means, but trying to stay within my means, if that makes sense. You know, if anybody ever been like that before, where you want to do the right thing when it comes to rent so that you can have more money to do the wrong thing, but then you end up spending more money and still living above your means. So it kind of like it cancels itself out. Like, what was the point of you paying this amount in rent only for you to go out there and just spend even more money and still be in the red? But anyways, and also too, I was job hopping. I had just gotten to that point in my career where I now had experience, right? So I was now able to apply to different jobs, different places that were not looking at me before, were now taking interest in me because now I have the experience, right? So, excuse me, long story short, and I keep on saying long story short, I really just need to stop and just kind of get it on out. I think you all would probably appreciate that more. Let me know, leave that in the comment section, let me know. But anyways, things had gotten so rough for me that I created a sign, and I can still remember what that sign says to this day. Struggling college student, need money for food. And I was going to stand right there off of 16. This is highway here in Houston. I was a freeway. I was going to stand right there on 16 and Fannin. And if you down here, you already know when I say I'm gonna stand right there off of 16 and Fannin where that train where that train go. And you know, once that you already know around 5 o'clock, you might as well just go ahead and hang it up and make yourself comfortable. So I was gonna stand right there with that sign. And I parked my car at that Shell gas station, and I had the sign in my back trunk. And it's so crazy because I can hear the Most High talking to me saying, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm about to go out here and put this sign out there." "So you a struggling college student?" "Yes." "What are you doing?" I said, I need to go get money. I need to be able to eat. I need to be able to take care of my bills. I need to be able to do this." "Well, why can't you just ask for help?" Well, why can't you just, ask for help? Why can't you just say, "Hey, I'm in my mind, I ain't asking nobody for help. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna ask nobody for help. I can take care of this. I got this. I'm not asking nobody for help." So it's also a lesson on pride and gratitude. So Well, I said, okay. We finna see. Go ahead. So I got my sign, and mind you, I got my sign together. I parked right up there at that Shell station. I took that sign out of the back of my trunk, and it's a guy that typically stands out there. And I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna kind of move him up out of the way. You know, them little tactics that you do to kind of intimidate people, move them out of the way. And I was like, you know what? I don't. I'm gonna put my sign right here, and I'm like, people gonna understand, and they gonna help a brother out. And so, oh man. Needless to say, by the time I got out there walking across the getting to make take my position, something came through and I didn't have to do it. Now, that's also a lesson on pride because I really could have just reached out and told people, hey, man, I'm struggling. I need a little bit of help. Can you possibly help me out? But when you grew up, how I grew up, it's difficult to just ask for help and just, and when you saw some of the things that I witnessed, it's just, it's just growing up in the hood and just being in the ghetto. It's just, you learn quickly about asking folks for help. You know what I mean? You learn that lesson. And so, to say the least, to just sort of sum it all up. But anyways, where the gratitude comes into play is the gratitude comes into place because you fast forward 12 years later, I now have none of those issues. None of those issues. None of those issues. None of those worries. None of, oh man, let me get my sign together. None of that. Credit to the Most High, of course, like that. But also, I give some credit to myself too, the human part of the credit, for doing the work and for being obedient and for saying, you know what, I'm worth it. And for saying, you know what, I'm going to do what I need to do to get my finances in order. Because you know what, to be honest with you all, there was no way I should have been struggling. $5.65 in rent, 13 something an hour. At that, there was no, my car was paid for. I had a cash car. There was no way I really should have been struggling. Not like that. But lack of discipline, lack of knowledge, not because the knowledge wasn't there, right? I have to make sure I point that out, that it wasn't because the knowledge wasn't there. I just want to listen. I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I thought I knew it all. I thought I knew best, right? And it wasn't until I submitted to the process, and I don't like to say submitted to the process because people are like, oh man, you submit, but being obedient to the process and knowing that I was worth the investment. So this year around the holidays, I want you all to just really, and I know we talk about gratitude and being grateful and stuff like that. And I see a lot of people talking about that. A lot of people on social media posting those things, practicing gratitude as we go into the new year. So I also just want to encourage you all to say, yeah, you know what? That is true. And what they are talking about is right. You do want to practice gratitude. And one of the ways of practicing gratitude is taking the time to sit down and reflect on where you're at now. Reflect on where you were before and reflect on your own progress and kind of take this time to give yourself a pat on the back. Give credit to the Most High, whomever you give credit to, but also, give credit to yourself. So anyways, happy holidays. See you all later.